right, we will call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Everybody have a chance to take a look at the minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Approved claims in the amount of $1,082,402.23.
This is over $1 million due to the camera PD for the monitors on the lights and the boat ramp start for paying the skid steer guy.
Monitors on the light? What?
The,
Cameras, LPRs and cameras.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
for PD.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve. Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Discussion and possible action regarding Chestnut Drive traffic speed information.
This came out of Public Safety Committee in regards to the speed humps and what the traffic is or isn't doing up there. And with that, in the study up there that was done, there was not a significant, or what am I backwards? There was a significance?
The speed humps significantly reduced speeds on Chestnut.
Yes.
15 miles per hour did not, that speed limit did not change things. In fact, the measurement for the average speed was up a little bit, but reducing the, so the average speed when the speed limit became 15 miles an hour, it was still 25 miles per hour was the average speed. Then the average speed dropped to 17.65 when the speed humps were put in. So they are effective.
A big part of the discussion that came out of that is that the buses, of all things, were the ones that were doing the most of the avoiding of the speed bumps, swerving, and speeding over them. And it was recommended to us that most of the constituents should call the bus service to
complain
let
about
them
that.
know and complain, and then they'll address it with their drivers. There's an overall citywide speeding problem. I'm convinced this probably is not the best way to go, but we have to do something, and I don't know if we need to focus more in on the enforcement end of it, but I know that that's always heavy in staffing and whatnot. And Dean, I think you could probably give some information to it as well as the chief on what was up there. And what we ended up passing out of committee was to purchase more and where to find that funding to do that. So,
Yes.
I don't know if Dean wants to expand on the study that was done up there?
Certainly can, but you guys did a good job summarizing what we talked about. So just to put a little bit more of the price onto it, I looked up some more current pricing, I guess, for the speed humps when we purchased this. The 4 that we have right now that are out on Chestnut is in a time without as much inflation and whatnot, so they were less than. So to purchase essentially like what we have right now, the 4 speed humps is $10,500, something like that. So that's 4 at about 30 feet wide or something like that to get all the way across the street.
Each or for total?
Total 4. So each one was 26.
So the total
26,
cost for
25.
Chestnut Drive, if we did it today, would be about $10,500
Yeah.
for for 4 sets.
Per speed hump, it's a little over $2,600.
I think this should be held over to full council. I think Public Works Chairman brings up a very good point of the degradation of our roads. And, we can't afford to do that anymore. And if this fosters that even quicker, of ruining the roads, we better rethink it. I'm not totally against it yet.
No, but we're not putting these on pristine roads.
Right.
If we have a new road, we can, there are a lot of other options for calming the speed, like what we did on Second Street. But for existing roads right now, that, so for example, 9th
9th Street.
would really benefit from speed humps, I believe. And that road is, we don't have to worry about ruining that road. So I think that we should purchase several sets so that we can put out a few more sets. I mean, we've been getting requests.
Yeah. Well, that's, I don't want to.
But that's all that's what- no.
Conversation, but I don't want to start putting them all over the community.
No, but we do need,
It's no different than a stop sign, you know?
well,
We start
right.
littering, and then, of course, Public Works might have a choice to talk about that as well.
I know.
But I think we should hold it over and for full council, because I'd like to hear the public chairman, unless she wants to speak to it now.
Well, and I would say too, is, I mean, we don't have it on the council agenda for tonight. So I guess just because we weren't sure, you know, what was going to happen, where that was going to kind of go, right? It's not on the, so my thought would be is if you want to get Public Works input, maybe refer it to Public Works Committee, let them have it at their next meeting, and then we put on the next council agenda, and we can, you know, combine the two committees up and figure out as a full council what we want to do with it.
Okay, I'll make the motion to send this to Public Works and then bring it to the council after that.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion on that?
I did want to make one other point that I don't know that we covered. If I remember correctly, we kind of talked about having an additional set to almost float around and try it on different streets to see if it would be helpful.
Yeah, so in talking to Aaron, you know, I said, okay, you know, how many sets? And then asked Dean. Well, Dean suggested like 2 or 3 more sets. I think that maybe even a few more sets might be a good idea. The other question is, where is the money going to come from? And I suggested ARPA funds.
Yep, and that's a completely acceptable use of those funds. And I'd say, you know, the council hasn't made a final decision on that yet. We're still waiting on some things before we bring it back to council for that. But this is obviously a completely acceptable use for ARPA funds. And then the thought could be also if we identify ARPA now, but then we get to the end of the season, we have extra money left over from a couple projects, we can always just throw that at it too and help get that cost down. But it's not a huge cost.
No,
So, you know,
but
I'm not as worried about the cost. part, so.
Overall, though, it's a small part of a bigger problem
Right.
we have to
Yeah,
identify.
absolutely.
So we just need to sharpen the pencil on and drill down on this.
Well, I think that what we need from Dean is a list of the places that would be a good idea, where it would be a good idea to try them, see how many there are before we make a decision on how many to purchase. But right now, I think that 9th Street for sure would be a good place to put them in until that road is repaved. And there are probably some other areas. I've gotten a request for 11th because people are speeding down, the students are speeding down 11th, getting to school. And then we've had a question about, or a request on Canyon. So
Yeah.
there've been plenty of requests, you know, and this isn't the best, I agree, this isn't the best
Tool in the
option.
toolbox?
Well, yeah, we need the toolbox. You know, when permanent, when the roads are redone, then, you know, do we narrow the road through some things, through the curbs? Or, and a median? Or do we put in the speed humps? And, you know, the curbs and the medians do seem to work pretty well, too.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean. Discussion of possible action to reallocate $13,750 from the Hanley and Center traffic signal upgrades to repave a portion of O'Neill Road.
Good evening, Finance. Mike Mraz, Director of Public Works. So yeah, what you have in front of you tonight is to reallocate some funds from the CIP that was designated for the Hanley and Center intersections to go towards repaving a portion of O'Neill Street in the industrial park. I attached some photos of the area in question. It's basically right at the intersection of Hanley and O'Neill, where a lot of heavy truck traffic is pounding the road over time and causing it to disintegrate rather rapidly. And I received a bunch of phone calls earlier this spring during that freeze-thaw cycle. People complaining about, you know, broken axles, so on and so forth. Had a couple of businesses out in the industrial park call me about it too. We went out there and spray patched it temporarily to kind of get rid of the potholes and bumps and everything like that, but it's a temporary fix. So looking to just reallocate some funds from that CIP account to put in a patch, for lack of a better term, 150 feet long by 15 feet wide, just to redo that one side of the road up to the stop sign. So reason I'm pulling it from that CIP item is we did receive a grant for the intersections. So we had originally budgeted $75,000 for those intersection upgrades. We received a grant which covers 90% of that cost, and we only have to come up with like $28,000 left, so it leaves us with, roughly $45,000 left in that CIP to reallocate to other projects, so.
Mike, here's my objection. We did that on a public safety need, and we were fighting forever to get these intersections controlled.
Yep.
And I don't want to do that. So you're saying that the money is still there and will be there to finish that
Oh, absolutely.
re-signaling project?
Absolutely. Yeah, we got, yep. That project will be done. We are
I
going
noticed
out.
that too.
No, we're not throwing that project out by any means.
And I think the chief would, as you guys do too, sweeping up all the accident parts up there.
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah, no, we got a grant. It was a 90-10 match, so it allowed us to free up some monies to put towards other things that came up, and this is one thing that came up, and we have some money available in that CIP line item. So no, we're still moving forward with those upgrades. We're going out we're kind of doing the design work right now, Dean, I believe, yep. And then we'll probably bid that out over winter and do the upgrades in the spring.
Well, as I was driving the curve on Chestnut where you had pulled out the, just repaired right in the middle, I was thinking that, yes, this is exactly what you're doing, except you're only doing it on one side of the street, not
Yep.
both sides of the street. And that was really a smart way of doing things, because that really needed it. The buses had really ripped that up. And so, a very similar issue with the trucks. So I'll move to approve.
Second.
A motion and second to approve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Thanks, Mike. I don't have anything. Anybody?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion's approved. We stand adjourned. Thanks, everybody.